Right, so my name's Bigfoot, and this is going to be a kind of review recap of the Bigfoot tapes, I guess. Best way to describe this movie is a lie, because it's called the Bigfoot tapes, and I'll put a spoiler warning on video, so anyone who does want to be spoiled by this movie won't be, but it's called Bigfoot tapes, and Bigfoot is in it for 2 seconds, maybe 10 seconds if the red eyes were actually Bigfoot, but I don't think they were. This is going to be a very short review recap because this is not a very good movie. The picture you can see hopefully says they have a review for calling it intense. It made me jump out of my seat. I don't believe that's true. I think the fact there's intense and dot 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 means they're two complete different senses put together with no context, apart from what they're trying to portray, which is not true. Best way to describe this movie is Deliverance with pot farmers, I guess. It's a found footage movie where I don't think they're meant to be teenagers, but it'd make more sense if they were. They're trying to shoot a documentary about Bigfoot, so they go to where Bigfoot lives. I can't remember where that is, and I'm not doing research for this review because I don't see the point. But they go to where Bigfoot lives, or where he thinks lives, and they interview a bunch of local people, and they're talking to them and stuff like, "Oh, do you know who Bigfoot is?" Yeah. It's the standard interview things where it's all clearly improvised and it's not very entertaining because they don't have people who can improvise working on movies, so you get a lot of baseline. Oh, that's loud. It's the baseline. You get a lot of baseline talk about Bigfoot and stories about the area, and none of it's interesting. They're like, oh, he may or may not live in the woods, and he's not teenagers. Teenagers are like, hey, we'll go in the woods, we'll find Bigfoot. And they go into the woods and they find some guy claims his dog was ripped in half by Bigfoot. But strangely, we never see any photos of the dog being ripped in half, so they just take this guy at face value, and then he's like, "Hey, why don't we do this? And why don't we go into the woods?" And they're like, "Okay," because it's found footage movie, they gotta go in the woods. And I should mention at this point that the female character in the movie looks and acts like she's high all the time, and her laugh is more chilling than anything in this movie, and it's meant to be a horror movie, but her laugh is just, oh god, it's not human. And I thought the twist might be she's Bigfoot, but apparently I was too creative for this movie. So what happens after that is they go into the woods, and I know I've just summed up half an hour of the movie, but essentially nothing really happens in the first half an hour. They're just talking to people, and they're talking about the documentary, and they're talking to more people. They talk to more people, and they talk to this guy who everyone thinks is crazy and religious, and few people tell them, "You ain't going to come dark down, boy." But they just wander around anyway, because who cares if you're told to leave town, just stay. They also told them that pot farmers are the most evil people imaginable, and if you cross onto their land, bad things will happen to you. This is important for later on. So they go into the woods and they meet this guy whose dog was ripped off by Bigfoot, and this guy's religious and he threatens to kill them but says not to, and he's got axes and there's goats and chickens, and from there he leads them into the woods, and he's shouting at them so they don't know how to hike, I guess, and he shouts and shouts, and they tell him that he's a crazy redneck, and he shouts some more. I sound really interested in this, but it's a really bad movie. I'll try and pick up the pace there. So he shouts them some more and says to them they can't leave Tate to find out how to get back. So they leave Tate to find out how to get back because clearly he's crazy. And then they get to a certain point of the wilderness and he just stops and starts having a freak out and starts praying to Buddha and Allah and Jehovah and Jesus, and I don't think Muhammad. I don't think he prayed to Muhammad. I think that's. I'm just going to say he did not do that. So let's all calm down. But from there, he's praying. He's freaking out. And he tells them he can't go past this area. And they're like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, it's bad." And they're like, "Why?" And he's like, "Bad things happen there." And they're like, "What? Like what?" And then he just runs off and starts screaming. And he falls down once and he threatens to vomit, and one of them talks to them and says it's okay, we'll go back. So he gets up, start walking a bit, then he turns around, runs off, falls down, threatens to vomit again, so they talk him up again. Third time he runs down, threatens to vomit, they go talk to him, and he runs off into the woods flailing his arms randomly. And everyone's just like, oh, okay. Well, we'll keep going anyway, because we know we've left the tape on the trees, so we'll find our way back. Makes sense, you know. 3 kids who don't know how to hike, they'll find a way back. So what happens from there is they walk along a bit and they find a leftover farm from like, I've watched a lot of bad horror movies, so could be for one of them. And it's just a chicken which is dead and charred, you know, and there's goats and there's blood and goats tied up, and they're like, oh shit, dude, what about if this like ritual sacrifice and shit? And none of the religions he's talking about really practice religious sacrifices nowadays. I mean, maybe if they set them up as Satanists, but they haven't, so they keep walking and they're not put off by this, and it's night time, and suddenly out of nowhere, the redneck they met earlier appears with a shotgun and says to them, you best not be on my land, boy. And they just, that's beer by the way. They just, they're on guy's land, and he says to them, oh, you can't be here. And they're like, well, we don't want to be here, we'll go the opposite direction. It's like, well, no, I gotta take the woman as a prize. And they're like, it's not carnival, mate, just let us go. And he's like, I gotta teach you a lesson. And they say, please no. And he's like, okay, just don't come on my land. Which sets up next part of the movie, because they walk away from this guy's land, which is great. You know, it's a logical horror thing. If told to do something, you do it. So it makes sense for them to walk away. It's a neat piece of writing, I guess. So they're walking away from there, and then they notice during night something attacking their camp. Something with red eyes, and it chases them, and they go, oh god, god, oh god, 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 god. And this is, by the way, it's after they've heard the woo-wah, which I guess is Bigfoot's mating call. And at this point, you're probably wondering, why hasn't Bigfoot found them? Not wondering, because I told you at the start, and it's only 2 seconds. I didn't see one of them. Naturally, this movie continues, and they're walking away from camp, and they keep walking because this is worse than Lord of the Rings for walking. They walk and walk and walk. And okay, here's the thing for this movie that I don't like. I'm not a huge fan of Blair Witch Project in general, but I do respect it, and I think they did a good job with what they had, and think they tried. I think what they also did was they had a logical progression of what they found and what's haunting them. You know? And not mention the fact that because it's a fictional property, because it's a fictional mythology monster, they do anything they want with this. With this movie, we know Bigfoot does not exist. All the evidence is bullshit. Anyone with a brain can see that. So 3 kids making a documentary about Bigfoot, automatically, I'm like, even Bigfoot exists in the context of this movie, it doesn't matter. You know, like, they have the same evidence we have as to whether it exists or not, and none of it's even close to being even quasi-possible. So there's no reason for them to do this documentary in the first place. They're not students, you know, they're not doing it for any reason. They're not being hired to do it, they're just doing it for the sake of it. So automatically, why do we care? They're stupid people doing something for a stupid reason, so their safety is irrelevant to us. That's where I see it. So their choices in this movie are actually making them kind of likeable, because at least they're doing somewhat, after this stupid idea of traveling across country, make a Bigfoot documentary, they're doing something semi-logical, you know, by walking away from drug dealing hillbilly rednecks who want to protect their pot farms, I guess. We could just sell some pot, really. So yeah, after the red eye thing chases them, which, you know, I just want to say right now, the movie never lets us know whether it's Bigfoot or not. But it can't really be Bigfoot because it's eyeline level of all of them, and they're all kind of like, I guess maybe top out at 6 foot guys, and the one's like 5'9", 5'10". So automatically, I'm guessing it's the pot farmers who smoked their super Bigfoot land pot and went crazy. I guess it's never really explained. At any rate, they keep walking, and After Bigfoot chases them and after he let them go, they sit in the woods and cry all night. Like I was watching Moving Whales, and from there we decide, hey, why don't we get really stupid, really, really stupid, and have lots of scenes of them talking about nothing at all, and then the tape's gone. Ooh, the camp and the tape are gone. Except the camp turns out they wanted. I think that all of their stuff's been trashed that's left behind, and tape's gone. And like, oh no, 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 that's not good. That can't be good. Or how are they going to get back now? Despite the fact that they just follow the tape back. You know, they try and do that, but here's the twist: the tape's leading them forward. So they know they're going in the wrong direction. They keep following tape anyways. They figure, oh, that's where we left it. You know? And then they find a bunch of tapes scrumpled up on the ground. And it's all gone. And it's like, oh no, who took the tape? So at this point, some people probably be like, well, Bigfoot's leaving tapes, that's fine. But why would Bigfoot leave tape? Why wouldn't he just murder them? And then you start realizing, try and question a movie called Bigfoot Tapes. Bigfoot isn't really in it very much. And you just go, okay, why not? Sure. Here's the kicker. The only people who could have left the tape are the rednecks. The redneck hillbilly drug pot smoking dealing people. But why would they have done it? Why wouldn't they have just kidnapped people at the time? I guess boredom. But also, and here's the other twist, they're moving away from the rednecks camp. That's their logic. They're going that way. My arm's pointing to the left side. Instead of this way, my arm's pointing to the right side. So they're moving away from the camp. So pretty much you're not making tension, because if no one's playing by any discernible rules, you know, like, what's the goal? So teens keep walking, and then they go to sleep, because why not? And then the woman is dragged into the night, I guess. But there's like 10, 11 miles from the drug dealer's camp, so. And also, fair point, you never see her again. You know, at any point. So did Bigfoot eat her? It's never really left clear as what happened to her, but she screams a lot, so that's good, because hey, you need more positive representations of females in horror movies. From here, oh god, it's such a bad movie. From here, the movie decides the best thing to do is have characters scream each other's names for long periods of time, and then the other dude, the tall dude who was dating the woman who got kidnapped, he's dragged away too. But he's dragged out the cameras. It's found footage, remember? So they've set the camera up. He's dragged out of the tent, and the tent's dragged away, and he's dragged God knows where. But in the next scene, other dudes holding the camera. Like, they have two cameras. They never sum that up in the movie, and all the stuff is taken. So why was the camera left? You know, just don't question it. Don't question Zedmore. Don't question. We're near the end. We're near the end. Right, from here, what they decide will happen is, and by they only the one guy left, he's going to just walk and record stuff. And at this point, we're all used to the fact that that is how these movies go. They walk and record stuff, even when they're in mortal danger. And so he finds a cave, and he enters it here and screams. He's like, I'll find Bigfoot, I'll find Bigfoot. And immediately, when you're watching this movie, you realise there's no way Bigfoot can fit in this cave unless he's actually a dog. There's barely a way humans fit in this cave, because you get 7 or 8 minutes of this idiot trying to climb through the cave while holding the camera and doing a poor job. And then he comes out at a redneck rave, and at this point it comes to deliverance, because there's a lot of rape. I mean, seriously, like, you know, even for a bad horror movie, there's a lot of rape. Like, I'm not on I spit on your grave level or Last House on the Left, but like, it's a lot of rape in this movie, and it's just it got confusing at the point, because they want this guy to record rape happening, but I just, for a second I was like, well, who's on camera? Because surely he wouldn't record this. But I understand. It was recorded in detail, and it's lots of deliverance, oink oink like pig. I'm gonna get you, boy. You know, hey, you northern people with your clothes and shit. We won. You may have won the Civil War, boy. We won the battle. And you don't want to point out to them that winning battle doesn't mean anything if you lose the war, but they're rednecks. So they're going to be movie rednecks. So Jesus Christ. So a lot of rape going on. And then they're driving. The rednecks driving the van down dirt road, and they throw this guy out, and they're like, ah, 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 ah. You know, you want to be a movie star? Well, you're dead, and we raped you. So you know. And your friend who we also raped, he's dead. So good, we won't show him. And that woman may or may not be dead, but she's a woman, and we like, boy, real pearly, like. So I've said Sir I think it's like defense mechanism. It's a fucking awful movie. I'm sorry to guys who made it, but your false advertising puts me right off. It's not scary. It's not tense. I don't like fan footage movies in general, but you know, at least with Blair Witch, we learned about mythology. What mythology does Bigfoot have? You know, in context of this movie, there's nothing. You could have made it a bit more, but the whole thing about humans are bad guys after all. See, that's fine for the Blair Witch, where the implication is that Blair Witch cult is doing all this shit. That works because they're working in the name of the Blair Witch. These drug dealing, hillbilly, redneck, pot smoking deliverance boys are not working on Bigfoot's behalf, you know? And here's why. Because it's not like they're doing work in the woods that people don't know about. Everyone knows these guys are pot sellers. You know, not, they smoke pot, they all sell it. Everyone knows it's them. So why? I mean, it's most could have been solved with one thing. Bigfoot lives in woods, don't go in woods. They go in woods, they find these pot smokers, and pot smokers won't cover their tracks, so they pretend Bigfoot exists. Or something, you know, like that. But it's not, that's not how movies work. That would be such a simple change to make this half decent horror movie, and it doesn't work. It's only in 18 because of the rapes. Bigfoot only appears officially for 2 seconds, and it's from distance, and it's just like, I mean, enough rape. This movie could work if Bigfoot and these teams teamed up against the pot selling rednecks, but that's not movie, you know. And maybe they would think like, we don't have budget, but this is just like actually no, Chernobyl Diaries is better than this because that follows through, you know. That doesn't, I don't know. It's I don't like this movie. I've tried recapping it. Like it's I'd be really harsh with stuff like Insidious 3, but this movie is just you know, like found footage is no excuse to make bad movies. Okay, that's just fact. You know, make better movies, please. I'm begging you. Don't, you know, like we are living in an age where you can pick up a camera and make a movie, and that's fantastic. Please, God, have a basic script first. Have a basic start, middle, and end. You know, the reason the French can make movies which buck with structure is because the directors in question, people like Jean-Luc Godard and Francois Truffaut, and I might not love their work, but I respect it. The reason they can make these movies is because they know structure, so they can work with structure, so they can use it in a clever way to create movies which don't seem to have a structure, but actually do have structure. This movie has no structure. This movie is basically 3 scenes, and those scenes are 3 sequences rather, and those sequences are they want to make a movie so they view the regulars, and they're told don't go in the woods. They go into woods, and they're told this is our property, stay out of our property, and then they're caught in the end. Those are 3 good sequences with nothing surrounding them. You know, like I will criticize something like Hostel. I'll criticize it all day long. Other people criticize. I'll criticize it. It has a structure. You know, There has to be a basic structure. It's like what annoys about paranormal activity. There's no structure. It's scared. People get scared, and that's it. They don't fight back. People have this attitude of like, oh, it's just like 80 slasher movies. No, it's not. You can watch you can watch A Nightmare on Elm Street, any of them. You've got Friday 13th, any of them. You've got Halloween, any of them. They have structure. They work on their own. None of this stupid bollocks. Oh, it's part of a bigger franchise. When that actually occurs, nothing ever gets finished. Jason and Jason's mother die in every single Friday 13th movie. His mother dies in first, he dies in all the other ones, and then they bring him back, and that's fine because they're playing with new rules. They're not saying Jason's wrong way to come back another day. No, they're saying the protagonist in this movie is cute Jason, and something's going to bring back. And yes, it's increasingly ridiculous that brings him back, but they're not leaving it vague, open-ended bullshit where these people in the horror movie are literally victims. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with the idea of a victim, but at some point, for a cohesive narrative, the victim has to fight back. And these movies don't do that. They just portray people as victims, and it's impossible to relate to them. And yes, I know in real life, bad things happen to people. You don't always get a chance to fight back. I understand that. And I also understand certain horror movies have that attitude. But what I also think, and I strongly believe this, is if you want me to care about the characters in your movie, then I have to believe they are capable of reacting to the situation in kind and being able to find a way, some way, to turn the situation to their advantage. I like this movie's idea of them walking away from danger in the opposite direction, but what I don't like is there's no point in this movie where these characters are heroic. I guess heroic's the wrong word, but the point I'm trying to make is that they're told walk away, they walk away. That's the twist. That's the subversion one, and I like that. Where's the next twist and tell? No, they just walk away, and then villains catch up to them again. That's not interesting to watch. That's really, really boring. That's insulting. And I'm mocking Insidious all day long, but at least they try and fight the evil against them. So I guess my issue with this is that at no point do I feel like these characters are really particularly relatable, and they have no urgency or agency. They just you watch. It's why Scream is such a great horror movie, because Sydney by the end of that movie is a badass motherfucker, and it is awesome. She's fighting back. She's playing the rules, breaking the rules, manipulating rules that have been put in place. This movie, no, they're just victims, and it pisses me off. It annoys me incredibly. Even Babadook, which I think is a horrible, horrible movie, at least tries. It tries. It's trying for something. And if you try for something and fail, you're still trying, and I respect it. This movie is just it's just basically of the attitude. Found footage is hot right now. It's so hot right now. Let's make that without putting a stamp on the genre. And it's no urgency. It's just not. I just don't like it. And then Bigfoot showing up again for 2 seconds is just like, you're eluding Cloverfield, but Cloverfield was a much better movie with agency. There's reasons they want rescue one of their friends and all of that. That gave them a reason to do things. This movie is just doesn't really have any urgency or agency. So I'm going to say this is not one I'd recommend, and I spoil it because now you don't have to watch it. And I was going to do Zombie 2, but I actually like Zombie 2. Stupid characters aside, there's an urgency to it. So yeah, this is not good. I would not see this. I wish this was better, I do, but I don't see how you can make this movie even remotely watchable. It's ugly, it's repellent, it's not very entertaining, it's misleading, it's false, it's just not inspiring. It's like something like Megan Goes Missing, which everyone raves about. I think I haven't really followed it, but for me it was just basically lure these victims. Haha, let's look at them. Voyeurism. We're gonna put you in place of killer and all that. And I just think those movies are bad. Like Megan Goes Missing. All I think about when guys digging graves was you can't do this properly. You are the worst grave digger ever. And this movie is basically the last 20 minutes of Megan Goes Missing, where you're just watching bad stuff happen to characters, and it's not entertaining. It's just ugly. So, yeah, this is another Zedmore one, Zedmore recaps, I guess, and I would not recommend this movie. So, I'm out. I'll see you soon.